All right, let's talk about a huge challenge for founders. You're moving fast, you're building an amazing product, how do you turn that roadmap into an actual protected asset? We're going to break down a strategy that helps you make sure your speed is your greatest strength, not your biggest risk.
I love this question because it gets right to the heart of the startup world. So many companies are proud of how fast they move, and they should be. They're constantly shipping, iterating, improving. But here's the catch. Without a real strategy for your intellectual property, that speed can be a huge liability. It's like you're in this thrilling race, but you're just one sharp turn away from flying right off the road. And this is where it gets really interesting. On the one hand, speed without a plan, well, it just makes you an easy target. You're basically creating a public blueprint for your competitors to copy. But when you have a plan, that exact same speed becomes your protective shield. It transforms the chaos into a real competitive advantage and gives your team the confidence to build like crazy because they know their hard work is actually secure.
Now, this is a trap that's so easy to fall into. You launch a cool new feature, so you file a patent. It feels like you're doing the right thing, right? But really, that's just guessing what might be valuable down the line. What we're talking about here is shifting from that reactive, guessing game to a truly proactive strategy, one that's tied to the entire life of your product.
And that's where this idea of a strategic IP blueprint comes in. Look, this is not just a dusty folder full of legal documents. Think of it as a roadmap for your innovation. It gives you and your whole team clarity and direction, not just for what you're building today, but for what you're going to build next year and the year after that. And the cool thing is, the benefits of a plan like this just ripple through the whole company. It is so much more than just legal defense. Your team suddenly has the confidence to go for it. You stop wasting time and money on ideas that don't have long-term value. And maybe most importantly, it makes you so much stronger when you're talking to partners or trying to raise money, because they can see you have a defensible, thought-out business. So, how do you actually build this blueprint? Well, it all starts with one thing: identifying and protecting your single most important idea. We're going to call this the flagship. This is the absolute center of everything you do. Ask yourself this question. What is the one piece of our technology that, if a competitor got their hands on it, would just completely wreck our advantage? It could be an algorithm, a specific way you assemble hardware, maybe it's a totally unique workflow. Whatever it is for you, that's your flagship. And you can bet it's the one thing your competitors want more than anything else. I mean, that analogy just nails it, right? If you protect that root system first and make it incredibly strong, you've created a stable base. From there, every new feature, every little improvement you make can grow from that secure center. It makes your whole product roadmap way more resilient. You know, a lot of founders feel like their product has a bunch of core ideas, but if you really dig deep, you'll almost always find there is one central invention that everything else relies on. And identifying that single thing, it brings an incredible amount of clarity, not just to your IP plan, but to your engineering team and your entire vision. Okay, so once that flagship root system is secure, the next step is to build a protective moat around it. And you do this with what the source material calls variants. So what are variants? They're all the other ways you could get the same result. The different approaches, the performance tweaks, the little adjustments to a workflow. In the moment, these might feel like small incremental changes, but from a strategic point of view, this is where your long-term leverage really comes from. And you really need to understand this part. Your competitors are almost never going to try to copy your flagship idea one for one. That's too obvious. Instead, they're going to hunt for a slightly different way to get a similar result. They are actively looking for the gaps in what you've protected. And this is the critical danger. If you don't claim that ground around your core idea first, they can. They can literally file their own patents on variations of your invention. And suddenly, you can be blocked out of markets or features that you should have owned, all because you left the door open. So every single variant you protect is like closing one of those doors. It's another layer you're adding to your defensive moat, and it makes it harder and slower and way more expensive for anyone to even try to design around your core tech. All right, now for the final piece of this strategy. We're talking about the small, constant improvements that keep your product feeling fresh and competitive. Let's call them seasonal refreshes. It is so easy to dismiss these as just, routine maintenance. A bug fix here, a tiny update there. But that can be a huge mistake. These little refreshes are often the exact moments when new, protectable value is being created. These are the tiny details that keep you ahead of the pack over the long haul. Think about your change log. A simple line item about improving latency might not seem like a big deal, but it could hide a brand new technique. And you can be sure your competitors are studying that. They're trying to figure out how you did it so they can copy it. Every single one of these small steps is another chance to strengthen your position. And this is just such a powerful insight. It's so true. Your customers might just feel that the product is getting a little bit better, a little bit faster. But your competitors, they are analyzing how it's getting better. Protecting these little refreshes is what stops your product from becoming just another commodity. So, when you bring all three of these pillars together, your flagship, your variants, and your refreshes, you're doing something much bigger than just plain defense. You are building a powerful, integrated system for protected growth. And the payoff for all this strategic thinking isn't some abstract legal concept. It has real, tangible benefits for everyone involved. Your team can innovate without fear, investors see a company that truly understands how to create long-term value, and potential partners know they're dealing with a business that owns its ideas. It just makes for a stronger, more resilient company from every possible angle. Ultimately, it really does boil down to this simple but incredibly powerful approach. You anchor everything with your core flagship invention, you expand your protection and build that moat with variants, and you keep your edge by constantly capturing the value from your seasonal refreshes. This is how you stop losing ground to the fast followers. And that's really the key takeaway here. A real portfolio plan isn't a one-and-done task you can just check off a list. It has to be a living, breathing strategy that grows and adapts right alongside your product. Because in this market, the only thing moving faster than your product is your competition.